Oh, how we doing? Yes, I'm still kicking. I'm still alive. For how long, I could not tell you. I know that some of y'all are like, man, where in the hell have you been? Well, I've had two eye surgeries, um, multiple doctor's appointments. Um, I've been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I have it in probably about 70% of my body. It hurts to walk sometimes, hurts to sit down, hurts to move. And then I have bone spurs that are going up my spine, and they're wanting to do surgery on that, and I'm kind of holding off on that one. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me personally. And you're seeing this green exterior because this used to be the greenhouse. Um, but before I could use it for what I bought it intended for, um, one of the junior's friends across the street came around the yard and crashed into it and tore up part of the frame on it. So I really couldn't use it for what I intended to. So once we junked one of the vehicles, I put it in space of where the junked vehicle was, which is because right next to me, what you're seeing across here, that's the side of my carport. So the only wind I get either comes in from the southwest this way or maybe across to the side of it. But one of the things I try to help keep from making this a giant parachute is I rolled the window flaps up on the sides and tied them off so that way if the wind does come up this way, it'll come out the side ports of where the window screens are, and hopefully it'll still get puffy, but it won't be like a giant parachute. And then on top of it, we have it anchored down on the ground with some small fencing stakes and tied up with some wire and put some weights on it and everything else. So it's not permanent secured form, um, but we've had some pretty strong gusts and it's still standing. So um, it is what it is. Now I still bake a few things for people. I make a few things. I still make the hot sauce because certain people want it. Um, but as far as going to market wise, for me, it's pretty much over with. Um, Mainly due to um, when I went to market, it was just me. Nobody would go with me. Occasionally, somebody might show up towards the end of market kind of thing, but I'd pack up myself, load everything up myself, come home, unload everything. So yeah, that's taking a toll on me, and it hurts too much to do it. So I basically gave up on that months ago. Um, I mean, I might still go up there occasionally, to see who all is up there and how good or crappy it's doing, but if I ever decide to do something like that again, I won't be there. I'll probably just go to like one of the flea markets around the area around where I'm at and try it for one day. Kind of see how it goes. But to pay $25 for a 6 month due, um, and there's no guarantee I'm even gonna ever show up. So yeah, I can't see doing that. I'd rather pay $5 to set up for a day than 25 for 6 months, and be done with it. But what I've been doing on the side is I've reverted back to my wilder younger days when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. Um, we called it junking. Some other people call it dumpster diving. Some other people call it picking up trash. It's however you want to call it. Um, I've put ads on Facebook. I made a list of all kinds of like electronic items and everything else, and some people have responded. I've gotten a few things. I've picked up a few things, um, and whatever I can't get, I call a friend of mine. I utilize their vehicle, to go retrieve certain other things. And behind me back here, this is all scrap metal. This is anything from uh, microwaves to um, pieces of like flat screen TVs, and you name it. And the main reason why I'm doing this is because I want the circuitry boards out of anything that plugs into the wall or runs off batteries. Because I've been, probably since about April or May, I've been acquiring, electronical items, taking out the circuitry boards, depopulating them, taking off certain pieces. I've done everything from soaking certain boards in hydrochloric acid to eat the solder away. I've used an air hammer to shave off things. What I've been doing here recently is using a heat gun, which it works very well, other than you get that burnt computer electronic board smell on you. And having a big old beard like this, it sticks to that like glue, and it smells horrible. And no matter how many times you scrub your face and hair and beard with shampoo, for whatever reason, you still smell burnt electronic form. And yeah, that's the only downside. So I would say probably come springtime, I'm going to shave this off down to stubble. I don't know, it just depends on my mood and how I feel. But I've been doing a lot of e-scrap. And I was hoping to have started probably say April, May, starting into it. But probably what's going to happen is, actually what I should have said is I was planning on buying a unit from my in-laws and having it transported over here, so that way all thing I would have to do basically would be put some tables in there, make a fume hood to get started to process all these certain pieces for certain precious metals. But for the price of the unit, and then as I started thinking about it, because the person that's going to go retrieve it's going to have to do a lot of work basically to get it on their trailer. And by the time they get it from their house to my house, I'm looking at probably another price of what I was going to buy the unit for. And I can literally go to Lowe's I can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, or Menards and get X amount of 4x4 posts, have the kids dig out the holes with the post hole diggers, set them in the ground, put some sackcrete in there, get them nice and firmed up, and then have, I don't know, there's a few people I know, but have one of them basically come in and frame everything up, so that way I can get the metal put on the top and sides on it, and basically make like a giant shed, but it'd be like my little workspace. So that way I can start processing all these component pieces to retrieve minute levels of silver, copper, and palladium, and gold and everything else. It won't be no huge things. Now I do have some pieces in the house that are large pieces of sterling silver, and some things I've scrapped down, torn apart, and everything else. So that can keep me busy for a little while. I do have some. I did have some carat gold, but I threw that in the smelter furnace with some sterling silver, and melted it all down together and poured it into shot. So whenever I decide to take all that stuff, I can stick it in a container, throw some nitric acid to it, eat away the silver, and then start working on recovering the gold from it. But yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be doing besides going to market. Little bit more expensive in some ways, but I don't have to make certain items, load it up in the car, drive halfway across town, set it up in a canopy, set the tables, put the stuff out on the table, and pray somebody's going to show up to buy something. This past market, which I wasn't there very much, But the straw that broke the camel's back is when I made $1.50 in one day for sitting for 6 hours. After that, I was done. I was like, it's pointless. I'm not gonna waste my time doing this. It cost me more money in gas to get there and back than what I made for the day. Not including the product, all the other stuff that I had made that basically, since it didn't sell, I give away because it's loaded with sugars and I can't have it because I'm diabetic. So yeah, so I lost all that money out, and then the time for running the oven and everything. It was a bunch of bullshit, really. So that's the main reason why I quit going to market. And the other part is about almost midway through market. It's when my doctor told me, because I got to send you to a specialist, and the eye doctor kind of suggested saying don't drive, and the eye specialist said do not drive. So I have another appointment coming up, probably March or April, I think, and it's like a follow-up, and I'm just going to ask him if I'm still on the do not drive segment, or if once I get a pair of glasses, will I be able to drive? And depending on his outcome, depends on what's going to take place. But as far as driving wise, I don't care about going to market, trying to set up or trying to do things like that. I'm just going to go out and retrieve certain items that people are throwing out for trash, so I can bring it back to the house, separate all the contents, like light metal, heavy metal, copper. I got a stack of compressors over there on the outside of this canopy that once I get a decent sized angle grinder, I'm gonna cut the tops off of them so I can take out the centerpiece and get all the copper out of that. And there's other things on compressors. I've been watching all kinds of videos, people from India and these scrap places out there that process all kinds of different things. And there's a lot of things on the compressors other than metal that I didn't know about. So as far as compressor wise in my area, I don't know what they're giving now, but the one I called last time, which is a few months ago, for a compressor they were paying 18 cents a pound, and that was it. So if I get me an angle grinder and cut the cap of it off, pull the copper out, process all that stuff to get the copper out, as many compressors as I have over here, I'll have probably, I'm going to guesstimate fairly moderately, somewhere along the lines of 10 to 20 pounds of copper that's inside them compressors that I need to tear apart. Not including the copper pipe that comes off of it and everything else. So that's just the copper alone that's inside of it. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And then after Christmas and paying property tax, and seems like I got a teeny bit of money on me, but nothing what I did have before property tax came around. I basically have seen all kinds of things I would have loved to have bought before the great silver boom took off again, and I just didn't have the money for it. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing a lot of e-scrap, or as some people call it, technology scrap, to retrieve. I'm mainly after silver. It's mainly what I'm after. If I get anything else, it's like a bonus. But I'm after mainly silver. And there's a lot of components and all kinds. I mean, everything from a watch to a LED light bulb. I mean, there's tons of things that contain silver. And a lot of people, they get done with stuff, they just throw it in the trash and they don't think nothing of it. And that's why I made this huge ass list on Marketplace. I made a couple posts on a couple other pages on Facebook I belong to, and I made personal posts on there. If you have anything, put it in a box, put it to the side, I'll come get it. Or if I can't come get it, I'll send somebody after it. If you have, I'm not telling them, don't throw it in the trash, I'll take it. And somewhat, and especially inside here, that you can't see a lot of things. And I got all kinds of stuff in here, including my lawnmower, which is my foot is sitting on the front tire of it. Because I can't put it in the shed because I got 2 trash cans full of like motherboards and all kinds of other component boards, circuit type boards in there. Some of it's been depopulated, some of it's been partially depopulated, and some other boards I just haven't got to because, well, it's winter time and I don't like sitting out there freezing my ass off. So I'm gonna wait till spring because I'm not doing nothing this summer anyway, other than sitting around the house mowing a few yards or um, going swimming once I get the pool set up. Um, so I'm gonna be around the house all the time. So I got plenty of things to keep me busy. So that's what's been going on with my neck of the woods. Nothing exciting, nothing fun. I have made probably 12.5 videos, and I've deleted every one of them. Whatever reason, I don't know. I think that because, well, for the most part, a lot of the videos I would say by a certain time I would post it, and something would take place or something would happen, and I wouldn't get it posted, and I just delete it because it would fall like so many days apart from each other and everything else. So in this video, I'm not going to say a certain time. I'm just going to say when it gets uploaded and put on there, there she be. But I have been slightly busy, occupied with working on a lot of this stuff here. I have a refrigerator sitting out here I got free the other day. I've already torn off the face of it, which it's a stainless steel double door. Where the water comes out of the machine, I've taken that face place off, got the circuit board out of that, and then I got the compressor off this afternoon. Junior helped me do that, and so what I'm just gonna do is when I get my trailer back, because a friend of mine's borrowing it, when I get it back, I'm gonna take that fridge and I'm gonna lay it on its ass or on its back, so it's facing straight up with no doors on it. And I'm gonna fill that puppy up full of bolts and screws and small pieces of light metal, and I mean I'm gonna fill that puppy full. And then I have a hot water heater off to the side. There's a few pieces of brass I still gotta take off of it. Chunk that puppy on there, and then I got all this stuff behind me, like there's a pile behind me you can't see, but I'm gonna put all that stuff on there. And then, let me tap this a little bit. Gas grill sitting right here. And then in this dunnage crate, well, it's not a dunnage crate really, that's what I call it. It was a tote container. But inside all this in here, when the old ladies at work, they have a bunch of people that come in for catering, and they leave all the aluminum trays and lids and everything else. Some of them were dirty, you had to spray them out, but a lot of them were clean. So and what she does a lot of times, she'll just throw them in a black plastic trash bag, tie it up, and leave it to the side. And I just chunk them inside there. But there's a bunch of them in there I've already flattened, compressed them down, put them together, smashed them down. There's a few bags in there they're already full of it, and there's a few bags in there that haven't been compressed yet. So, like I said, once it gets warmer, I got small things to do, and that's like I told somebody. Pretty soon I'm gonna be like Sanford and Son, the old TV show, except for my thing is it's all gonna be scrap metal, and anything that is plastic that is able to be recycled is going to be recycled. Anything that is not recyclable, sometimes I still sneak it in with the recyclable products. Because me, honestly and truthfully to me, plastic is plastic. Because around here what they do with a lot of it is they'll shred it to either like a fine chipped mulch, or they'll shred it to a powder and they'll add it to other stuff when they lay asphalt, or they'll use it in the playgrounds or something like that. So it's a lot of stuff that they're doing with the plastic isn't being made for, you know, repurposed for consumption use. It's being repurposed for roadway use or filler for like landfill, kite filler, playground, stuff like that. So that's why I don't mind throwing non-recyclable plastic in there. But if it was going to be like, say, recycled for consumption form, I wouldn't do it. But everything that I receive, I recycle. I've got some of these big ass plasma TVs that have these wooden box frames, and what I do with them is I'll break them up or take them apart and put them in the burn barrel, and I'll just burn them. And once it burns down to ash, if anything's metal inside there, I take a magnet across it. I take out all the pieces of metal that I didn't see or couldn't get off there at the time, and all that metal goes in the scrap metal bucket. And then I take the ash and I dump it somewhere amongst the yard, and, you know, just let it do whatever. But I've been dealt kind of a crappy hand, but I'm not going to complain about it because I'm still alive. I take day by day. I don't plan nothing in the future. I know in the one past video in the past fall, I said we planned on going metal detecting when Junior was on fall break, but we had really crappy weather that week and we just couldn't get out and doing it. I do plan on doing it sometime this spring. And if I can't drive, I might have somebody take me and him over there and drop us off. And if I can drive, we're going to drive over there. We're going to do a little metal detection. It's just to see. If I find pennies, I don't care. It's free money. But I just want to do something to be active. Because for the past almost 6 months, I've done nothing but sit home. And I haven't voluntarily went anywhere by myself because I'm not allowed to drive. Because even though my eyes are healing, I can see now. I can't drive at night because the glare of headlights basically blind the piss out of me. So if I drive, it has to be like during daylight hours, which I'm okay with that as long as I can drive. And if I can't drive, then basically I get to call my insurance company and say, hey, I'm gonna be like Geico. I'm getting ready to save $100 something on my car insurance, and they're gonna be like, well, why is that? Because I'm gonna cancel my insurance. So, yeah. Joy, joy, joy. But, that's basically the gist of it. That's what's been going on. That's what I've been dealing with and what I've been doing. I will say if the weather stays moderately in the 40s and 50s, I'll make another video where you'll see me. I know it's starting to get dark because I can tell it's starting to get kind of fuzzy-ish in here. Even though I'm blind without glasses on, I can tell I'm getting kind of fuzzy-ish. So, I'm going to jump off here. Y'all have a good night. Happy New Year's. Hope y'all had a very good Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate it, you know, sorry to step on your toes. But, you know, it is what it is. I am gonna get on the politic sandbox or soapbox for a second, because I know there's people outside the U.S. that watch my videos, and what I want to say is what the U.S. government does not reflect majority of the people in the U.S. Most of us are being taxed to death on anything and everything. Inflation is crazy. Tariff taxation and inflation is crazy. Basically, the government's getting fatter and fatter, and the average person in the U.S. is, I don't want to say we're really struggling, but in some forms and certain times of the month, we are. And what the federal government does to any other country, we are not the ones doing it. It's the federal government. So if you have an issue with America, it's not America that you have an issue with, it's the federal government that you have an issue with. So that's the end of my little rant thing. So that's all I'm gonna get on. That's all I want to say. But y'all have a good night, good day, good morning, good afternoon, whenever time you see this in whatever part of the world. I'm gonna jump off here. So, like I always say, is keep your nose clean and your powder dry, and everything should be okay. And the other thing I'm going to say before I click that button is, if you want to click on the like button, or if you want to subscribe, that is totally up to you. I'm not gonna beg you. I'm not gonna, like in my videos, I could tell how many videos I've watched. It says click the like button, click the bell button, click the subscribe button. You know, if you want to click it, click it. If you don't want to click it, I'm not gonna be upset. So, but I'm gonna jump off here. I got a few things I need to tend to before it gets totally dark. So, I will see y'all again. When, I don't know, but I'll see y'all again. Hasta la pasta.